2 minutes to answer this question. So we will start as it was specified by Mr. Rappaport. It was Mr. Searle, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Ross. Briefly, as you've indicated, as for the $20,000 extra for the already overpaid borough mayor, who's a member of the executive committee and therefore has no influence because he has to do exactly what Danny Coderre tells him to do. You know, they actually put a cord through their hand so if it goes out and they put a zip. What's wrong with that?
Move along with your answer, please.
Well, I know move along. That was actually fairly brief. Now, corrupt Quebec provincial law gives Russell Copeland 2 votes. Actually 2, not a deciding vote. So even when we defeat him on something like this in a vote, 3-3, because that's a defeat, he gets 2 votes automatically. Corrupt provincial law. So there's nothing we can do because we've got Lionel Perez, Russell Copeland, and Marvin Rotrand, who is doing all sorts of stuff to get more research budget. He's got something called Coalition Montreal just to get more research budget for after the election started, Keeton Clarke. And as for the Chalets and the Science Centre, well, I voted in favour of the Science Centre, and I don't take back on that. I'm with Mr. Rappaport on Meadowbrook, and I'm with him on the Chalets. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Arseneault. That's next, Mr. Clarke.
As far as salaries are concerned, I will look at that if it comes up for a vote on Borough Council. I am less concerned about a $20,000 salary top-up than I am in the deficit of hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars in community center spending, green space spending. I honestly don't know why some people have chosen to focus on this. With regard to Meadowbrook and the Falaise, goes without saying that Projet is on board. We're part of the fight to protect those areas. In fact, it was Projet that proposed a motion at City Council that was adopted unanimously, calling on the provincial government, Transport Quebec, to put the Dalparc, the active transit bridge, back in the plans. $40 million on a project of $4 billion shouldn't be too tough to do, and NDG is needed to connect them to the canal and to the larger Sud-West. We're all agreed on that. With regard to the Science Centre, I was at the Urban Planning Advisory Committee meeting where they showed those plans. It's going to be a fantastic centre. It's going to be awesome. I think we need to keep in mind that green space is definitely worthy of preservation. In fact, Montrealers suffer from a deficit of green space as well, but we're talking about land that is zoned for institutional academic purposes. Concordia has been building on this campus for 100 years. I've seen the photos. And I think it's a bit of a treat, actually, to see all these different buildings that were built in different eras and different styles. And obviously I also have a personal bias here because chances are my sister would either study or work in this new building, and she's good at what she does, so I want the building for her too.
No outbursts from
as for the referendum, I do agree that we should maintain the right to referendums by citizens on local projects, but as you correctly stated, that's out of our hands. It was a provincial law.
Thank you, Mr. Clarke.
The extra salary or extra money, $20,000. I know very little about that. But I can tell you that when it comes to extra money, we need to look at the extra money that when it comes to the contracts that the city, as far as professional services, they put out roughly $1 billion a year in contracts. And I think when it comes to jobs and providing work and employment for many others, they can look at that and see how they can make it simpler, much easier for many people to apply for those contracts, because it is there. There's a regulation that says that they have to hire particular people, women and visual minorities and others. So when it comes to the extra money, there's extra money already there in the system, because we just need to have to really, adjust it and open it for others, not just for the few or for those who may not need it at the present time. We all need it, but why? The other thing about Meadow Park, obviously, it needs to be protected. That's something we need to agree on. Now, when it comes to the Concordian sciences, a smart city, we need to make sure build that we need to make sure that we have, because we know that when it comes to education, many of the youth today, they have their degrees, everything else, and they can't even find proper jobs. So if that can encourage them for us to be much brighter, much able to attract, we have the universities here. Why not use the talent that we have and use that for that? Consultation, the referendum, unfortunately that's out of our hands as provincial, but consultation is very important. I was very happy to know that in 2003 or 2002, with the Montreal Summit, that opened up the doors for many of us to talk. And I think we're missing that, talking to each other and sharing our concerns. And consultation, I think, is very important to have some format of that within the boroughs, in the community. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Our next